So this one, we're going to bring this one around a little bit, and we're going to have a little bit more fun with it today, and we're going to talk about some of the benefits to success. So cars, as anyone knows, before we get into the details and the stories, we have talked about this many times, and I have said this 1,000 times on podcasts and anywhere else, that I'm a big believer in getting those toys that you want. As long as you are moving forward and doing the things that you think you should be doing. For me, it was motivation back in 2006 when I bought that $160,000 Ford GT. And the bigger story was back in 2003 or so, 2004, when they announced that it was going to come out. And I was like, yeah, I got to have one of those. And then from there, boom, 3 years later, I was buying one. And I was no closer to buying one in 2003 than I was then flying to the moon. But I made it happen because that's the thing that I wanted. Now, that's not the only thing I wanted. Obviously, I had things I wanted more of. I wanted success. I wanted a better life for my kids. I wanted the business to grow, so on and so forth, right? There's much more important things, obviously, than having cars or whatever your toy of choice is. But you're talking about motivation. So what are the little motivating factors that push you on the big motivating factors? And I'm a believer in, because it works for me, that's why I'm a believer. That's the way that I did it, is I went out there and I bought that toy, but it wasn't just buying the toy, buying the car, maybe before I could afford it, or maybe the business could have been set up a little tighter, maybe the timing on it could have been better. But I'd go out there and be like, man, I got to make that money this month. I got to push. And making that money to take care of that car also meant making the money over and above making the payment on that car or that toy. So for me, I am a big believer in it. I need that motivation, and that motivation just pushed me to higher and higher and larger success. So I never slowed down. I never rested on my laurels. I never spent half my paycheck on a car. Any of those things, you got to be reasonable with it. But when you reach a certain level, spend some of that money, use debt to finance your business, spend some of that money, and get yourself some cars, get yourself some toys, whatever the hell, buy yourself a swimming pool, whatever the hell your thing is. Go out and do travel. Doesn't matter what it is. Cars are much easier for me because travel, particularly in the early days, is much more difficult to do. But the car, you can drive back and forth to work,